just me and my lowrider ST once again out here in the streets of Brooklyn. As you can see, we are still very much in the winter. It's still early March right now, and this is every bit that 33 degrees that I'm feeling right now. There you go. Feels like 20 degrees because the wind is blowing pretty harsh right now. So still very much winter, still very much got my heated gear running. And yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that spring is only a couple weeks away. When you make it a point to outride winter, that's kind of what happens. As you can see, the sun is not fully up, so that's where you gotta be running the right stuff, which is none other than Moon's MC. I got my Fly Eye V2 and I got my vent strips, and I'm not even on the high beam right now. That's just on the running, so get your LED lighting dialed in. Yeah, so in this video, it's been a really, really long time since I've done a traditional moto vlog. That's just not really the content I do anymore. Those of you who followed me in the early days, that's primarily what I used to do. And now, you know, kind of moved on to a style that's a little bit more cinematic, so I don't really motovlog anymore. This is the first one in a while. I'm kind of only really doing this one just because I had multiple of you all that followed me back in the early days requesting this, just saying, hey, I kind of missed the old dip and rips you used to do. I'm obviously never going back to full-time motovlogging. That's just not what I do, but I figured, you know, why not throw a little motovlog in here for old time's sake? So basically in this one, I just wanted to give you all some updates of what's been going on. It is the winter of 2025, and a lot has changed in a very short period of time. So, like I said, just going to give you some updates. Why don't we start with the first update, which is, hey bro, where's your left mirror? Well, as you know, I do outride the winter, and the weather out here does get pretty gnarly. Essentially, I was riding back from the Nassau County Harley-Davidson. The wind was so intense that it straight up blew my left turn signal loose completely, and it's kind of one of the good reasons to run a bar bag, because I was just able to take it off and throw it in my bar bag, which it's still in here. So no, I'm not trying to be cool or start a new trend. It just blew off at the last ride, and I haven't had the time to get it back on. So yeah, that's where my mirror is. I know someone is going to have something to say about that. And honestly, I know a lot of you ride, especially the chopper guys, ride without mirrors. I really miss it. I do use my mirrors, so definitely going to get that back on ASAP. Okay, so kind of going on updates, right? And I talked a little bit about content. So, you know, like I said, right now, this is the traditional style moto vlog. I'm just ripping through Brooklyn on one of my bikes, and I'm talking to you in the moment. A lot of the voiceover cinematic content that I do, obviously that stuff is scripted, so I think that's kind of just in a different category as opposed to what I'm doing right now. So as always, it's helpful to hear from you all. Like, if you enjoyed the moto vlogs, like if you want me to throw in a video like this maybe once a month or something like that, like I haven't done it in so long that it's still kind of enjoyable. Like I said, I would never go back to doing this full time, but if you want to see some moto vlogs sprinkled in there periodically, just let me know. Alright, so the first question I think I've been asked, especially, you know, since I've done some more Dyna ST content, is what's going on with the bagger build. So basically, we're almost like, I'd say midway through that build. There's a lot happening. Right now, they are very far from stock. So in terms of the bagger content and the custom performance bagger build, I'm gonna do like a formal update video in a couple weeks, just showing you where it's at right now, where we will actually go to the Nassau County Harley-Davidson. If you didn't see the first video, that is the dealership that we've officially partnered up with in 2025. So, I mean, that's another big update. If you haven't been following that, we do have an official dealership that FXDLS Brooklyn is now officially partnered with, which is amazing and has opened up a lot of doors. But anyway, within the upcoming videos, I'll definitely be just doing a full-on visit over to the Nassau County Harley-Davidson, where we could show you exactly where the bikes are at, some of the parts that we already have on there, some of what's going on, without unveiling everything. So kind of just to give you a proper taste for those of you who are excited about the new performance bagger content, just to kind of see what's going on, because we're very excited about it. It's definitely moving at warp speed with the deadline being the summer. The ethos of this channel is just not bagger content. this type of stuff, sport touring, Dyna, FXR stuff. That's still true. You know, as you can see, I'd still say right now in terms of content that I drop, it's probably a 75-25 split, where I'd say 75% of the content I do remains true to this channel, which is the sport touring content, Dyna, FXR, Lowrider ST content, and about 25% is within that performance bagger project that we now have going on. So yeah, those of you who have speculated, is this becoming just a pure bagger channel? No, that's not happening. However, we have made it very clear that we are definitely exploring new pastures, which obviously is the performance bagger game. But I don't know, you caught me at an exciting moment. That's what's happening with that. The next one is, if you are some of the many people that receive the J&P monthly parts catalog, you will notice a familiar face on the cover of that catalog. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about that. I'm still kind of feeling imposter syndrome out of all the amazing bikes and builds out there. The fact that my bikes are on the cover of a catalog that's going out to 250,000 people or more is just, again, I can't, I'm having a hard time just wrapping my head around that even still. What I will say, in the efforts of trying to kill any ego that exists, is the thing that I like most about that cover opportunity is the fact that it's not solely about me, is the fact that the highlight of my riding career, the thing that makes this stuff, that makes this what I'm doing right now my favorite thing to do ever, is the fact that I get to do it with my dad. So the fact that J&P is a company that, you know, doesn't just want to throw a couple cool bikes on their cover, but really did their due diligence about who I am as a rider and made the decision to also invest some of that space on my dad, really means the world to me. Because again, you know, without him, none of this would be happening. I say it in the write-up when they interviewed me. It's just I wouldn't be half the person, half the man that I am without my dad. So the fact that he's on there in the cover with me, that just means the world. Okay, the next question. Y'all probably saw I did a recent video on LED lighting, and some of you were confused because I didn't mention Moon's MC lighting at all, which is a sponsor of mine. So quick synopsis of that: J&P as of now does not cover Moons, and I was asked to do a review on the lighting that J&P carries in their catalog. So that is why all the lighting that I covered was lighting you could find in J&P Cycles, and I gave most of it a pretty good review. You know, I don't think anything I reviewed I gave a thumbs down or anything. But at the end of the day, you know, I do run Moon's MC on all my bikes. That's just the way it is. And I think, again, some of you were confused why I was covering other forms of lighting. But, you know, I after speaking with Tommy, who's the owner of Moon's MC, we actually decided it did make sense for me to explore other options, because if I'm only running one particular lighting, I have no basis to compare it to. But after exploring the other options, I can definitely say that, yeah, Moon's MC is hands down what I'm running on all my bikes. And I plan to do a follow-up video where we actually do a direct comparison of why I feel that way. But yeah, some of you were confused, but no, Moon's MC is still hands down what I recommend and what I run on all my bikes. And, you know, again, not to say that the stuff I reviewed wasn't good. It was good, but, you know, I have my preferences. Other updates. Can't really talk too much about this one because we haven't decided on a date for a hard launch, but basically, as you all know, my partner at this point in a lot of this content is none other than Von Gasfault. That's probably at this point who I have the majority of my miles with on the long road, X, Y, and Z, besides my dad. And, you know, if you follow us, he's kind of covered the photography side of things, I kind of do the YouTube side of things, and then we merge together to take over the world with our content. But anyway, we've officially started working on a collective brand between the two of us so that we can fly under the same brand. You know, kind of like you have partnerships out there, and you have partnerships like that out there that fly under the same brand. I'm talking about like the 2 Lane guys or maybe Thrashin'. It would just kind of give us something to fly under, which was probably just a long time coming at this point, so that we're not just always saying, oh, it's FXDLS and Von Asphalt are coming. It's a mouthful, you know what I mean? So trying to just, you know, create a brand that represents us as distance riders who celebrate the long miles on the road. We'll definitely have some merch coming. We have some really unique ideas for merch, and yeah, so that's coming out. You know, we'll also be partnering with my buddy Dylan with the Lowrider S. Have you seen? He's part of the Cursed crew. We hope to have that out by the summer, so stay tuned for that. The next one, a lot of people have asked, what is the Cursed crew? Some people are confused. It's like, what the hell is that? Is it a riding group? Like, what are you guys doing? I think I've made it pretty clear in my videos about the Cursed crew of what that is. Essentially, basically what it is it's just 7 or 8 really good friends. You know, we were all really good friends beforehand who are really just in it for, who are really just in this stuff for crushing miles and having fun, which is what we do. So, you know, I've made it pretty clear, you know, we're not a bunch of tough guys going out there trying to establish ourselves in any sort of way. We're really just a bunch of knuckleheads ripping around on some loud Harley Davidsons and trying to eat some pancakes. So it's really just grounded in having fun and friendship and not taking yourself too seriously. So that's what the Cursed crew is all about. And I've been trying to do a Cursed ride video just about once every month. So yeah, that's what's happening with that. Some other folks are just asking me, like, what's going on with your other bikes? You have the Pan America that you share with your dad. You have your FXR. You have your Lowrider ST. You have your FXDX. You have your Dyna Lowrider S. The first question that people continue to ask is, am I selling one of those bikes? The short answer is no, I'm not selling one of those bikes, at least now. You know, I have too much invested in all those bikes to let them go at this point, so that's just not on the table. In terms of plans for those bikes, I'd say they're all pretty much as far as they could go. You know, performance-wise, like the bike I'm on right now, there's not really much I could do with this besides what I've already done. The only thing that you'll see soon that's coming on this bike, the one thing that's missing is we're going to be fully decking this bike out with ARP bolts. So in terms of any upgrades, that's the next thing that's happening with this bike, is you'll see it with some ARP bolts, and yeah, that's happening. All right, the next thing that a lot of people have asked me is, what are your bike trip plans this year? So a lot of people were confused because I made a Daytona video and assumed because I made that video that I was going to be at Daytona. I tried very hard, but it's really hard for me to get the days off. You know, that's why last year was so special. I was not able to make it out this year. However, my brother, my partner in miles, Von Asphalt, was. So definitely check out his coverage of the event. He actually, yeah, he's going to be taking a lot of pictures of some of the exciting things happening, so you can go follow him on Instagram and check out what he's got going on. I was not able to make it, so for me, it just is what it is. Like, Daytona was just not happening this year. Events that I do plan to definitely be at is I will be at Homecoming. You know, we've been hitting that the last couple of years, and we've really enjoyed that event, so definitely will be making a Homecoming appearance. And we'll be hitting Sturgis again, and the good thing, if you like follow the schedule, Homecoming is actually quite summer Sturgis, so I'm probably going to hit Homecoming and then just ride anywhere with my dad or whoever wants to join me in between Homecoming and Sturgis, and then kind of end my trip at Sturgis. So that's the goal for that. And then I'm just excited because my brother Rob Armstrong, you know, you've been following me in the early days. He's kind of one of my oldest friends in this bike life. You know, he recently just had 2 kids. His life has changed a lot since the first time we started riding, but he was actually able to make a plan with his work and his family to at least get enough time to ride out to Homecoming and back. So I'm just really excited to get to do the trip with a good friend of mine, as long as the usual suspects. Obviously, I'll have Von Asphalt and the road captain by my side for this one. I think also Adam and Joy from the Curse crew will be joining us as well. So there's a lot of potential for some exciting summer shenanigans. So definitely stay tuned for that one. And yeah, so like I said, I don't know if I'm officially a moto vlogger anymore because I don't really do this. It's like not my thing anymore. But I do listen and I do read every single comment. So I just wanted to be responsive to what some of y'all were saying, which was, yo, FXDLS, can we get a moto vlog like you used to do? And I got no problem doing that. Like I said, I barely do it anymore. So when I do it, it does, you know, it's novel enough to be exciting. Whereas when I was doing it so much, it was just getting kind of old. So I very much diversified my content. I hope y'all appreciate that. The channel is definitely in a very, very different place this year than where it was previous years, you know, especially with just experimenting with different types of cinematography, really putting my time in to make every video special and unique. We've definitely gotten some attention from some of the heavy hitters out there in regards to Harley-Davidson content creators, which is truly an honor and definitely validating. So yeah. Finally, the last update is I did drop my annual t-shirt. It is the Make Miles, Not Excuses, which is pretty in line with what we do here on FXDLS Brooklyn. I don't claim to be the biggest fish out there. You know, there's always going to be a bigger fish. There's definitely some folks out there that are crushing way more miles than me within a given season. But however, 7,000 plus mile bike trips is what we do. That's what we're all about, and that's what we continue to stand for. So if you're somebody that is in it for the miles and no drama, check out that newest t-shirt design. You know, we only printed 50, so they're going kind of fast. So yeah, as always, whether you've been enjoying my new level of content within the more cinematic videos, or you're just enjoying an old traditional moto vlog, stay safe and stay low. Do me a favor and both like and subscribe. It does help me on my path forward to crush miles and crush pancakes. And on that, FXDLS Brooklyn is out.
Goodbye.